Welcome, everyone. The performance will be starting soon. Please find your seat and silence your cell phone. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, get ready to be amazed. Put your hands together and make some noise. It's showtime!
Well, hello there. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you guys out there. Want to know what everybody is up to today? There we go. Now I can see. So, yeah, we're in for a great show today. As always, let's start from the top. Last week, we had our first ever Tournament of Champions. We had Tony Braxton face off against Mary J. Blige in a bracket-style tournament. So if you want to know who won, you'll have to rewatch the episode if you missed it, or comment down below if you watched last week and maybe give a clue as to who the winner might have been. Our guests last week were none other than Tara Fritz from Violet, as well as Boot Jeep, as well as the Unsung Dreamers, the musical journeys of the Not So Rich and Famous. Yeah, and we also had Sherry Quigley on from the band Wheelhouse. Got to run into Sherry over the weekend as well, so it's good to. You can never have too much Sherry Quigley in your life. I'm here to tell you. So yeah, no, it was a good show. It was a freaking marathon. It was like if you see bags under my eyes, it's from staring at a computer screen for all week long, trying to edit 5 hours of footage and stuff. And I went ahead and split the episode in half. And 2 different episodes, so you'll have kind of your more typical format of a show with the games and the interviews and that kind of stuff, and then the second half is where we did the actual Tournament of Champions and the brackets, top to bottom, the whole thing in its own episode. So that was cool. I've never, up to now, had enough material to squeeze 2 full shows out of 1 episode, so that was pretty cool. Now I could be cheap and just go ahead and replay, half an episode or whatever, since I have that much, but that's not what we're doing. You know why? Because we're not scripted. So yeah, good afternoon, Josh. Good to see you. Terry, good to see you. I'm trying to see who all's here watching with us. I see Dan Fritz is watching. Oh boy, the pressure's on now. Let me grab my script for today. That's what we're doing. Right there, right at you. We're doing whatever you guys want to do. I have no script. Nothing. We're flying on the edge of our seat, and we'll see how well that goes. So yeah. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna do our first guest introduction. So let's go ahead and jump to that. Oh, wow. Okay. That didn't work. Let's try maybe our second guest today. Everybody give a warm welcome for... Oh. Wow, yeah, that didn't work either. Okay, I guess it's just me. Cat's out of the bag. I have no guest today, and that's quite all right. We are going to have kind of almost a fan appreciation episode. where I want to talk with you guys that tune in and watch every week and are loyal to the show. I've got people that watch every week without missing. They're always like here from start to finish, and I just want to say thanks to all of you guys that do that. It really does mean a lot to me. Let's see here. Christy says, let me shut this music off. Oh yeah. That's enough music. That's enough. There we go. Nope, not ready for that. All right. So, Christy says, Paralandra just announced a show for suicide prevention for teens. That's really cool. Christy, where is that happening at and when? Do you know? That's really cool. I got to tell you, I don't want to get too dark, but yeah, suicide is something that's it's a big thing for me because I have lost a lot of friends over the years to suicide. I know a lot of people are in not really good spots right now, mentally and even physically, due to just all the crap that's going on in the world. So that's what music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be an escape and a release from all that. So for them to do that, I think that's really cool. Let's see here. Terry, the Invisible Man. Yes, the Invisible Man and his twin brother, the Fairly Invisible Man. So yeah, great guests. Let's see here. Same here, and they have huge following. So I personally love this. Yeah, I think that'll be great. I wonder, is that happening here in Springfield or is that out of town somewhere? I haven't. I'm out of the loop on that. I went to the Paddle Wheel last night. That was my first show ever doing a show at the Paddle Wheel down in Branson, right off the landing, and it was really cool to be able to get around and kind of have a somewhat of a crowd. I mean, there was people there. People were being socially distant somewhat. I was very socially distant, being in tech land. I'm off to the side and away from everybody, so I always feel safe about that. But yeah, and of course, the Dirty Saints were selling their new COVID masks with their logo on it, so that was cool. I got one of those. No, so I wanted to talk about the Paddle Wheel. I don't know if you guys have ever played down there. I had not. I've never been there. I've heard of a lot of bands and stuff that play there, but I had no experience in it. So I thought it was interesting because the load-in was so unexpected. It's literally right on the water. So you're playing on like a floating dock that's just doing this the whole night. And trying to set up lights and program lights and stuff like that when you're doing that, I was like, holy cow, no drinking for me tonight. So yeah, but it was really fun. The load-in, I'm not going to lie, the load-in absolutely sucked. You go down this probably, I don't know, 100-foot plus ramp to get onto the dock, and then another 50 to 75 feet to get to the stage, and did that 6 times. So I was wore out before the show even started. So yeah, Christy says, yes, it's at the Riff. So Paralandra doing a show for suicide prevention for teens at the Riff coming up soon. I'm not sure when that's happening, but maybe we could find out. So yeah, I think that's really good. I know I see a lot of people here that are in bands and stuff and playing shows and whatnot. My question to you is, when are your next shows? When can people see you guys next? Or what are you working on? What do you got in the works? Are you guys still practicing? Are you working on new material? Are you putting new band projects together? What band projects are you looking forward to seeing? I know another band that was just announced this week was a band called Damsel, and it's got quite a roster. We've got, I'm going to go off of memory. It's got Kristen Denar, formerly of Thrillfall, that's going to be singing, as well as Charity Baker, who's going to be singing with her. I think Jeff Ward is playing guitar. Richard Kittleman, both from the Dirty Saints, keys and guitar respectively. Shane Jennings, of course, from Thrillfall on drums, and I cannot remember the bass player's name. Some new guy to me. I have no idea who he is. So regardless, I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're all about. So yeah. Sherry, I see you on. Crystal Layton, I see you on. Crystal, I miss you and John. I need to get John, at least, if not both of you guys up here. I'd love to have you both on the show. I would actually like to do a show about photography. So I think that to have somebody like Crystal, who shot my band Death May Die for 10 plus years, all the great pictures that she takes, as well as my friend Brenda Fulbright, who takes phenomenal pictures and has taken pictures of Death May Die and Sunset Strip and many other bands that I've been in and stuff. So there's a lot to that, and I know there's a lot of really talented photographers out there in Springfield that really kind of help bring us to life on stage and give us great social media profile pic material. So yeah, that's really cool. Let's see here. Terry says, I'm still trying to get in touch with Gary. Gary, of course, from Gary and Terry both are both formerly from Crimson Steel out of Ava, Missouri, a band I grew up with in my early 20s, late teenage years, that kind of thing. So yeah, that would be cool. Jared, when are you going to perform, or can we get a video of you singing soon? Oh, that's okay. Well, I tell you, I don't know when I'm going to perform next. It can't happen soon enough. Of course, for those of you who don't know, hi Tara, how's it going? What are you guys up to today? Are you doing anything fun? Are you down at the lake house? Or are you working your tails off? No, for me, I've got a lot on my plate. But I own my own production company, so I've spent the last what has it been now? Almost 3 years working for other bands and working with other bands to help elevate their shows and stuff, because that's a passion of mine and it's kind of the guts of this show is to try and help elevate and showcase other bands and other talent here in the Springfield area, in the South Missouri area. So my point to that is I had a lot of lights and a lot of sound equipment and stuff that I was able to offer other bands and stuff that whenever my band wasn't playing, it was just sitting there. So I started my own production company business, and that really kicked off really well. And it's been a great 3 years, and I look forward to so much more. But I really do miss being on stage and performing myself. So yeah, I've got let's see here. So I'm still in Death May Die. That's still in the works and still going, still writing new music and all that kind of stuff. We're just obviously waiting for all this COVID stuff to lift. But before COVID hit, we were actually writing and recording new songs. As a lot of people that have followed my band Death May Die over the years, we kind of do this whole wave thing of we'll write new music and kind of lay low for a while, and then we'll resurface and play for a year and a half, and then go back under and write more songs, and we'll just kind of keep doing that. And that, in our opinion, that just kind of keeps it fresh. We don't want to be out there so much that we oversaturate the market with Death May Die. And plus we just enjoy writing music and stuff and coming up with new things. So, but we're also kind of perfectionists about it. So we don't want to just like throw a song together and be like, yeah, that works. That's close enough. And we'll just go play it. Like, that's just not at all how we roll. So, so yeah. You're thinking of crashing the show? I wish you would. You would be a welcome addition. So that's Death May Die. We, during all this COVID stuff, and plus half the band, well, not half the band, all the band lives down in Forsyth or Branson or further south, except for me. I'm the only one left in Springfield. So so during all this COVID stuff, we haven't had a chance to practice or get together really. But in the meantime, I have had another project that we've been working on just right since I think it was the beginning of this year, somewhere around there. But it's a metal cover band, and so it's going to be kind of a little bit of everything metal, but covers only. We're not writing music or anything, but we're wanting to stay kind of topical with a lot of our song selections, so that you don't have to be a metalhead. You can just have listened to the radio and that kind of stuff too, to be familiar with the music and stuff and connect with it. Plus, we want to be able to play a variety of different places. We don't want to get kind of narrowed down into a corner niche and not really have a lot of options as far as where to play or when to play. So, so Death May Die, the metal cover band. Supposedly, sometime soon, we're supposed to be starting and these are all different people, by the way. Supposed to be starting a new Metallica tribute band, and I'm looking forward to that very much. I won't divulge any members or anything yet because I don't know how much of what I'm supposed to say, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm hearing a lot of rumblings about a reunion for Eye of the Witch, which was my King Diamond tribute band, and I am very, very much looking forward to that. That was one of my absolute favorite projects that I've ever done musically in my entire musical career. I've never grown as much as a musician or pushed myself harder as a musician than what we all pushed each other in Eye of the Witch and our King Diamond tribute band. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the wheels back on the bus on that. So yeah, that's kind of what's up my sleeve as far as bands. I've had honestly a couple bands in just this time period of the pandemic hit me up and want me to sing, and I'm like, man, I've got so much on my plate, and I've got things that are potentially going to be added on the plate down the line. So I just kind of have to slow things down for a little bit. There's one other little thing I think I might do, but I'm not really sure just yet. So that's that. Josh Poole says, Chaos Theory is retooling any guitarist looking for a gig. We are interested. Got to be versatile. Got to play funk to hard rock. Yeah, so I've actually gone out and watched Chaos Theory when you guys played at Archie's. And you guys really do have a wide variety of music, which I think is fantastic. So I say that to say, can you throw up some of your songs and stuff that you play? Are you able to provide a little bit of kind of a sample of what kind of guitar style you're looking for? If I remember too, I think didn't everybody in your band sing? I can't remember. It's been over a year already since I've seen you guys, but yeah. Christy says, well, you're definitely hustling. Looking forward to what you have coming and soon, and keep it up. Yeah, for sure. Hustling is the name of the game nowadays, I guess. Honestly, I just look at it as I'm having fun doing everything that I'm doing. If I didn't have fun, I wouldn't do it. Because anything worth doing is worth doing, not just right, but investing your time and investing emotionally and mentally your time in. Like when you're not there, you're thinking about it or thinking about ways to improve it and that kind of stuff. So, and that's my MO. That's how I've always been. So, yeah, if it doesn't, if it's not something I'm ready to jump headfirst into, then I won't do it at all. So, Terry says, I'd like to sing for a GNR tribute band. Know any? Funny, because I was Axel in a local tribute band called Capgun Chaos, as well as several others. But yeah, GNR is literally my thing. Like Axel is my end all be all. So I'll be honest with you, Terry. If I knew of anybody, I sure wouldn't tell you. I would just take the gig. But yeah, speaking of looking for band members and stuff, my metal cover band, we've got Brian Stokes is playing drums, Josh Chilton is playing bass, Richard Brantner is on guitar, I'm singing leads. That's all 4 members of Sunset Strip, at least a lineup version of Sunset Strip. And so we are currently looking for a second guitar player because a lot of our material requires rhythm to stay whenever a solo goes on or that kind of thing, or dueling solos and that kind of thing, harmonizing, etc. So same thing, I'll put that out there the same as Josh did. Both of us are looking for guitarists, it sounds like. So, which is funny because guitarists I've always thought were the easiest part of the band to find because, I mean, they're kind of a dime a dozen. Everybody plays guitar, I mean, except me. But, it's when you're looking for your drummers and your keyboard players and stuff like that, not everybody plays those instruments, so it makes it a lot harder to find those things. You ass, Terry says. Yeah, I am. I'm as selfish as Axl Rose. I learned from the best. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm sitting here drinking my coffee and just rolling with the punches, if you will. So yeah, I'll see if I can. Christy, since you asked, I don't want to. I don't use the show to promote myself necessarily. I like to promote other people, but since you asked, I will try and dig up some performances of Sunset Strip, and speaking in GNR, as a matter of fact. So I will. I'll work on that as we're taking comments. We're taking callers. Long-time listener, first-time callers, welcome. Let's see here. Who all have we got? We've got a bunch of people. Stacy Haney, how's it going? Have you done your what do you call your when you go live, your cup of coffee or something like that? Stacy, have you done that yet today, or did I miss it? I see Kim, I see Brenda, I see Paul. How are you guys doing today? Anything fun going on over the weekend? Did I miss any fun actions or fun shows? I was down in Branson, so amongst the fog on the water, not the smoke on the water. So I wasn't able to see 5 feet in front of me, let alone any of their shows. Let's see here if I can find... if I could find any videos of Sunset Strip playing. I know we did we made kind of almost a music video of a live performance anyway. And it turned out really, really well. In fact, Josh Chilton, our bass player, his brother Dan Chilton is who recorded that. And I want to say that was in 2016. I can't remember for sure. So yeah. Let's see here. Stacy says, nope, didn't get it done yet. Had a long night. Brother, I feel you. I got home from Branson at 2:45 this morning. And then, of course, I never can go straight to bed. And after a show and after loading out and exerting all that energy, I'm always hungry. So I made me something to eat and then sat and watched TV for a little bit, YouTube actually. And then finally cut it all off and went to bed. I think it was like just right at 4 o'clock. So yeah, and that's that's not normal for me. So hey, Stacy, I'm throwing this at you. If I send you a link to jump on this, do you want to jump on my podcast today and do your cup of coffee with me as I'm sitting here drinking my cup of coffee? I'd love to hear from you and kind of hear what's on your mind today. I always enjoy when you go live, so I think it'd be cool to showcase kind of what you're doing on your live streams and stuff too to the people that watch my show. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll send you a link. So the hunt continues. The bad thing is we didn't upload the Sunset Strip performance to YouTube, so it's on Facebook. Thankfully, I did save the performance, but I once I found that you could save things, I got quickly addicted to it. So I've got so much crap in my saved, I have to sift through it all. So yeah. Let me see if I can make this full screen here. This isn't a earth-shattering clip or anything, but this is for Terry. You asked about a GNR tribute band. This is us headlining the Chili Cook-Off in 2015 or 16, something like that. I think I can't remember for sure, but yeah. Oops. There's a lot of people there.
So we got another
the famous Ward. Oh man. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep searching here and see if I can find this clip of me doing us doing some Guns N' Roses in Sunset Strip, my old band. We were together for, I think it was just right over 5 years. And I had a lot of fun doing that band, and I miss playing some of the material. Some of it, I'll be honest, I don't miss. If I never have to hear or play Once Bitten Twice Shy again, man, I was so tired of some of the songs that we did. But yeah, that's just part of it too. So, let's see here. Christy says, I was gonna say I did ask, so not afraid to go all Karen. You do so much behind the scenes. Just love seeing local shows show their talent. Since I can only metal scream. Hey, that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you. Have you been in bands before, Christy? Stacy says I can certainly try. Okay, well, give me just 1 second, Stacy, and I will send you a link. We all sing, Josh says, in Chaos Theory. So vocals are a must. We currently do Styx, Prince, Ozzy, Night Ranger, Bon Jovi, trying to get a little more modern dance music and party band stuff. That's really cool. I think that's badass. Terry says he was tired of singing Slaughter tunes. Yeah. But that's the thing, like, it really showcases, if you're able to play Slaughter and sing Slaughter, it showcases you as a talent a lot. So yeah, I could see why you probably got tired because you probably got requests for that all the time. Did you do like Fly to the Angels and that kind of stuff? Because that's the good. Yeah. Okay, let me oh, here we go. I found the You Could Be Mine. Let me see if I can make this full screen. Maybe. Looks like this was added July 28th of 2017. So, yeah, here's Sunset Strip doing You Could Be Mine. With your ass in the air. Yeah, this is actually one of my top 3, Brian. I want to see, so I'll go ahead and give away one spot out of my top 3, and that's You Could Be Mine. So let's see if anybody can try and guess what my other 2 top favorite GNR tunes are. Comment down below. To give it a raise. Josh says, is this the roast or toast segment? You mean covering covers where we roast or toast people? We'll say that it is. This is covering covers. We'll say that. And if so, it's a toast. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. Axl Rose is the GOAT. Deb Klein laying down the truth. Here's where I almost fell off the drum riser. Had to grab the drums to balance myself. There, I had to grab it. You could be my eye. Not Don't Cry. Out to Get Me. Fantastic song, but nope. My other two favorites have a lot of energy and a lot of parts. No. I like Knocking on Heaven's Door, but that's another one. If I don't ever have to play it live again, I'd be all right. Hey, we got one. Bryan Adams, Estranged. That's correct. That's probably my favorite GNR song of all time. Yeah. Yes, that was indeed Sunset Strip. Let's see if I can get this to work right here. Hey. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Yeah, the old Sunset Strip days. That was one of my I've been in several 80s cover bands, so to say. Yeah, that was by far probably one of my favorites. So lots of fun ones. No, Civil War, a really good guess though. That's definitely on my top 10. Hit it, Dan. Tell the story. Civil War is what got me to transition from being a drummer into being a singer. For those of you who don't know, I joke about this because Tara Fritz, who was on the show last week, everybody gives her a hard time because she's always bringing up that she toured with the Statler Brothers, and Dan was always bringing up that he was on MTV with his old band Johnny Q. Public. And yeah, so I guess this is what I'm always bringing up is how I won a karaoke contest and won $1,000. And as soon as I got off the stage, I had people asking, what band did I sing for? Who do you sing for? And I'm like, sing? I don't sing. I play drums. What are you talking about? I just came here for the hell of it. And yeah, I kind of never looked back since then. So yeah, Civil War is what I sang to get there. No. Appetite for Destruction is just as good of an album as it was when it came out. I absolutely couldn't agree more. It really does hold up very well. So yeah. That's what you feel like, yeah. Terry says Civil War is one of my favorites, but nobody would play it. Well, that's a freaking shame. Why? I mean, why? Did they just think that it didn't jive well with the set, or what was the purpose for that? That was a staple in my Cap Gun Chaos, the GNR tribute band that we had. Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if there's any. I guess that would be something to look up. If I don't ever search for myself or anything, Google or YouTube or anything like that, so I have no idea what's available and what's not. So we'll just see what we can find here. Nothing on YouTube. Literally, cap guns are showing up, so that's great. So yeah. Okay, if nobody can guess, sure, why not? Oh, not sure why. I was outvoted. Gotcha. Yeah, no, my third. So and these are in no order. I love them too much to try and put them in order. And if I did, it would change tomorrow. But I will say Estranged is probably my number one. But the fight for second and third goes between You Could Be Mine and Rocket Queen. Especially the bridge part. I love that. I see you standing on the road. Yeah. Good stuff, Maynard. Good stuff. Stacy, I saw you comment up here. I missed it. I'm sorry, buddy. Somewhere. I could certainly try. Did you message me that? I know I saw it somewhere. Think About You. Yeah, that was another one. Very good song. That's one that we did in Capgun Chaos as well. In fact, Jimmy James from Funhouse and all 63 of his other bands, he's the one that sang that, and my God, he sang that so freaking well. Jimmy James is like very underrated as far as his vocal abilities. He's a great guitar player, but his vocal abilities never get to shine as much as I think they should. So. Sorry, working on getting Stacy in here. No worries, all I get is a white screen. Well, Brian said it's strange. Yeah, you did. You got that. You're the one that got that right. That's probably because you got good taste, my friend. So, Deb says, hell yeah, Rocket Queen. Great song. And of course, nobody knows if it's true. Who knows? It's one of those rock and roll stories, but supposedly it was Axl in the recording booth with somebody else's girlfriend making all the noises in the background, if you will, on the underneath tracks of the song. So, yeah, fun story there. Don't worry, Dan, that was only a 50-cent story. Well, not like 50 Cent the artist. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff here, man. Stacy, trying to see. Normally, whenever you accept that, Stacy, you should pop up kind of in the, I think they call it the backstage area or whatever for this software. So, waiting to see if you pop up. I see that you've seen the message, so. Yeah, that's right, Steven Adler's girl. I couldn't remember if it was his or if it was, I couldn't remember who for sure it was, but yeah, you're right. It was Steven Adler's girlfriend at the time, supposedly. Yeah. Life of a rock star. Life of a rock star. Mira, how's it going? What is you up to today, girl? We're talking Guns N' Roses and stuff. In fact, I've got something right here at my disposal. This is what started it all, folks. My Funko Pop collection that has grown over the years started because of Mira Jean, who worked at Vintage Stock and said, hey, she private messaged me, hey, we just got Axl Rose in. Do you want me to hold it for you? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. I rushed right down there and picked it up, and then I haven't looked back since. So you've created a monster, Mira. Thanks. Christy says, recently watched a video of Axl with no E sing with Elton John, Freddie Mercury's tribute after his passing. Such an interesting and great collaboration. Christy, if that was a VHS tape, it would have broke by now on my VHS player or my VCR, because I can't tell you how many times I've watched that, but more specifically, how many times I've watched the part after the musical track plays and right before the pyro hits and Axl comes in. So you think you can stone me and spit in my eye? Before that part hits in, and just all that energy when he comes, and like they do like a wide shot, and all you see is just the crowd just doing this, just just bumping, and it is like so much energy, it's insane. I can't tell you how many times I'll watch that. I've wore it out. I bet if I searched it on YouTube, it would just start playing at that spot. Steven Adler was a very chatty friend of mine back in the MySpace days. That's really cool. That's actually, it doesn't surprise me per se, because I know he was always been very giving to his fans and stuff, and which I thought is great. Yeah, it's, and I think he's used that too to help him in recent times to stay sober and on the right track with everything, is just to surround himself with positive people and people that appreciate him and show him the love that he needs and deserves. So, yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of things about MySpace that I miss. And of course, there's a lot of things that I'm glad we don't have to deal with. Could you imagine right now with all the political crap that's going on and how divided everybody is, as if you had to, like, every week or every however often rearrange your top 8 favorite friends? Like, my God, we wouldn't even be able to survive social media if we had the same algorithms as MySpace did as we do on Facebook. The crowd jumping is freaking awesome. Watched it many times. Yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've given up trying to text Axel. Gosh, easy for me to say. I now just type war. Did you doctor all with Tom Petty doing free falling? What? Did you doctor all with Tom Petty doing free falling? I don't know what you're drinking, but I need some of it. Oh man. Well, let me try one more time here. To invite our good friend. Whoops. Copy. I know this is like the most riveting material as I'm sitting here trying to get people on the show. Message. Sent. All right, Stacy, we'll try this again. And I'll keep an eye and see if you pop up here in the backstage area or whatever. I think you have to use, if you're using your phone, you have to use Safari. And if you're using your computer, I think Mozilla Firefox is what works best. So, yeah, there's that. Axel. Oh. See, Axel. Gotcha. So did you see Axel with Tom Petty doing Free Falling? No, I didn't. Actually, I think I did, but did they actually, I can't remember, did they do it together, or was that like one of those internet mashup kind of things that they weren't actually doing it together? I can't remember. Can't remember that, Brian. I don't remember offhand. My research department decided to take a week off. They had to work overtime in editing. Let's see here. I know we're talking Guns N' Roses, which is, one of my favorites. So I could sit here and talk about this all day. But there's something else that I wanted to bring up that I did come across on YouTube. Or actually, it was on Facebook, and I went to YouTube and looked it up. Have you guys seen the? Let's see here. It's Dokken doing "In My Dreams" from what is today's date? The 19th. So this would have been on Friday night. This is just 2 days ago. Yeah, I don't even want to. I don't want to give anything away. As Josh alluded to in our covering cover segment, we decide whether we're going to roast the crap out of these people or if we're going to toast them. So Don Dokken with Dokken, let's see how that went. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was on the MTV Video Music Awards, and yes, I did. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, before we go to Dokken, I'm going to keep that hanging because I see Stacy Haney is here. So everybody, welcome, Mr. Stacy Haney. Stacy, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Jared, how you going, man?
We can see you. You look beautiful, but we can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Is your microphone on?
It is. Oh, let me press the mic button.
Do you know sign language?
Still no audio. Nope. Well, shit. Camera, mic.
Weird.
It says on my end.
And I don't see on my end. It looks like you're not muted or anything. So I'm not sure. Are you on your phone? If you're on your phone, shake your head yes. Okay, you're on your phone. So are you using the speaker on your phone, or are you using your speaker? No. Are you using there you go. Okay. And it's connected and everything? Weird. Well, so today we're going to teach Stacy Haney from the Stone Chapel Band how to do sign language. Say hi to everybody, Stacy. Oh, you guys can hear him? Maybe I can't. So that means it's something on my end. Oh. Well, Stacy, if they can hear you, I'll give you the floor. Okay, everybody's saying they can hear you, so must be something on my end.
Right.
So I'll let you have the floor, and I'll see if I can figure this out in the meantime.
All right. Well, hi. Jared's been threatening to put me on the spot with this for several months. So, hey, y'all have been talking GNR. by all means, keep going. I don't see any questions that necessarily pertain to me. So, hey, while we're waiting on Jared to catch up with us, if you haven't caught him before, I do an occasional coffee talk, as you can see from my front porch. And we talk about all things musical, but specifically we try to stay in the realm of the Springfield scene. So, yeah, you get a chance, check it out. That's pretty good, Terry. I wasn't going to say it, but I was thinking it. So anyway, still nothing, Jared. Not a thing. And you know, the funny one is I'm listening on two different devices and I'm not getting any audio at all. And you know, the funny one is still nothing. Oh, you can hear me now? That's funny.
I'm sure there's a delay, but I can hear you now.
There you are. Okay. Well, hey, man, thanks for having me on. Yeah, there's a hell of a delay. But I can't hear you. Oh, Terry just said something. Yes. Yes, Terry, you do.
Well, this is weird. I don't know why it is that everybody's able to hear you but me. So, yeah. Interesting.
Hey, but now I can hear you again now.
Too bad you didn't make cue cards in advance. Too bad you weren't scripted.
Yeah, no kidding. So thanks for having me.
Can you hear me now, Brian? I had my mic muted because I was watching our thing on my phone, and so I didn't want to have the echo for you guys. So yeah, I had muted my microphone here, but I'm back now. But I don't know what he's saying, but it better be good. No, Stacey, I always enjoy kind of what you discuss and bring up on your segment that you do for your live stream. You're always giving a lot of credit and doing show shout outs and telling people where they can see other local bands and stuff, and I think that's fantastic. So yeah, who all did we miss over this past weekend, Stacey?
Oh heavens, I think Nathan Bryce played at Shuffle this weekend. There were several bands out playing. Wicked Shimmy was at Archie's. We played a DAV benefit down in Galena, which was an outdoor show. Played a late set. Lord, it was nasty, horrible hot down on the Finley River. Lots of bugs, lots of dirt, lots of dust. I have literally been cleaning equipment all day. So yeah, you know, and you're right. The reason I do all the shout outs, I try to, you know, tag everybody's events and stuff. Truth is all we have is each other in this scene. So, oh, Jared probably says all kinds of nice things about me. Since he did hear it. Damn.
I tell you what, this is we're pushing new boundaries as far as me being a host to be able to ask questions and not hear the answers. This is uncharted territories, my friends. If everybody is like, oh, I wonder if Jared could go off script. I wonder if he could do something unplanned. Well, look at me, I'm doing it.
Yes, you are.
I don't think even the
Yes.
pros have to battle this kind of stuff. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
I honestly I think it's a fun dynamic. We ought to make this a segment, and you should just have cue cards, and that way, first of all, I won't ever have to figure out what's going on and what's causing the problem. Second of all, it'll just give us more material.
Yeah. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. I'll try and type as we go.
I suppose I could do some voiceover commentary, and that would only work though if nobody was able to hear you, and or if I had guests here with me, and then we could just you could move your lips or whatever, and I'd be able to make you say whatever I wanted.
I like it. I like it. Like it a
Terry
lot.
says Stacy's keeping up. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm trying. But
Stacy says
I've
I
got
like
you
it.
going on 3 different devices.
Tyler
One, I'm
Weeks, what's up,
listening.
buddy? How you doing, man? How's the shows coming? I know you guys have been a couple weeks in on the shows that you're doing in the Osage Beach area, I believe. I can't remember for sure. I never can remember the name of the theater you're at. Let us know where we can see you and when. As I stir my second cup of coffee for the show. Man, I really wish I could figure this whole not here because it's throwing me. It's making for great content, though. Let me tell you, this is
Technical
doesn't get any more
difficulties.
riveting than puppeteering.
Puppeteering. If I feel something in my backside, you're in trouble.
Brian says with Kahlua, that would be phenomenal if I had some laying around. Unfortunately, the only thing I've got laying around is tequila. I am a tequila guy. Tyler says yes. Osage Beach shows are Wednesday through Saturday at 8. What's the name of the theater, Tyler, where people can see? I know that if I recall, Tyler, you said that you were going to have like 2 different shows or whatever, but because of all the stuff happening and whatnot, you kind of had to merge things. So I know that like for the first set, I think it is, they're doing kind of a little bit of everything, and then the second set, or vice versa, then they're doing country material and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And I've seen a lot of your costumes and stuff too, Tyler. I gotta say that's quite comical. I think you do well. I think it's probably a fantastic show. From what I've seen and heard of you guys rehearsing and stuff, it looks like a great production and stuff. But seeing Tyler Weeks and purple pants and purple head to toe for doing a Prince song, or it's crazy. It's not what you would imagine Tyler Weeks to look like. So it's kind of cool. He said it's called the Main Street Music Hall. So very cool. Brian Adams, my band Life Eternal has a new vocalist, and his name is Kenny White. Is that the Kenny White? On Facebook, he's like got a cowboy hat and stuff in his profile picture. I can't remember what else he's done in the past. I think he was with Parts Unknown with Kenny Neal, if I remember right. I can't remember for sure. So many bands and projects to keep up with. Stacy, are you just playing in Stone Chapel Band, or are you? Okay, so just the one.
Yeah, just the one, and doing a little bit of live sound here and there when I've got time, and the mood strikes.
I have yet to come out and see you guys, but I really hope that you sound better live than you do right now, because right now I can't hear squat.
Well,
no, I'm sure you guys sound great.
I would hope we do. We been doing well enough that I've managed to nail down Rico as a drummer, so that's got to say something, I think. Of course, you can't hear it, so I'd like to think so. I'll tell you what, man, it's an honor and a privilege, but with the technical difficulties, makes it really tough for you to actually conduct an interview. So I'm going
Oh,
to
I
bow
have
out.
just figured out what's going on. Hang
Oh,
on,
you did?
Stacy. I figured
All
it out.
Good deal.
It's always the easiest stuff. I bet
Well,
you I can
yeah,
hear you now. Oh my God, I can hear you. You know what it was? My computer was muted. God. Hey, no, hey, I'm glad I figured it out. That's good.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yes. Oh man, your voice sounds incredible. I've been missing out this whole time. You probably told your whole life story and I've missed it. Or you've told mine.
No, I haven't.
Very cool. Okay, well now that I'm officially on board, what all do you have on your agenda today as far as your topic of what you were going to discuss?
Well, you know, I started off thinking that I was going to talk about the mask requirements and the things that have come up in the last couple of weeks. But you know, I tend to do my coffee chats more on a level of unscripted, unplanned. We're going to do whatever we can or want to do, and it kind of you know, whatever strikes me is moving for the moment kind of deal.
Yeah.
So of course, now that's one of the reasons that makes me different from you. Is I tend to get a little more controversial with some of my subjects.
No, I think that's great, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as, I mean, I've never had a problem getting into that kind of stuff. It's a matter of civility and making sure that you're actually either bringing awareness to something or a different perspective in a positive light, and you're not attacking people. I think there's always room for that, you know, on both sides. That's how we grow as people. And if we don't choose to listen to that civil conversation, then we're doing ourselves a disservice by not listening to the alternative viewpoint. And you know, and I feel like again, yeah, we could do a whole show, but you know, obviously we're so divided, and I don't feel like we have to be. If we would just take time to listen. Now that being said, there's people that are nut jobs regardless of what side they're on.
Sure.
But I think that we can do a better job of finding common ground and opening that common ground, that middle area, if you will, and making that wider, where a lot of people feel more comfortable in that middle area where we can all get along, you know?
Right. Well, because you said it, I will harken back to a moment that I had at Shuffle a couple of weeks ago. It was our first show out of lockdown, and we had a set-in drummer because Dose was playing up the lake. And one of the things that I said was I invited a bunch of guest musicians up. Jeff was there, and Kristen. I'm sure you probably heard some of what I talked about that night.
I don't know if I did.
Well, it started with I introduced the song, and I asked a bunch of guests to come up on stage, and then I pointed out that I was the Democrat that Russ Weatherby pointed out and tagged in his goodbye post. And then I reminded everybody that politics is something to be left at home. And from a moral perspective, most or all of us in our community, especially the musicians, we agree. Morally, we agree. Everybody in the world deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. And you know, it just doesn't get any plainer or simpler than that. It's not until we try to align our moral compass with our politics. That's where the divisions come from.
Yeah, I think that, and just a mix of music is again supposed to be the glue, the thing that brings us together, and gives everybody, including musicians, that escape from all the crap that we have to deal with throughout the day. So when you bring that into that world and try to get political on stage and stuff, especially on a local level, it's one thing if Axl Rose goes on a rant, or if the Dixie Chicks or whoever. But what platform is it really whenever you're just a local band? All you're doing is dividing an already small community, and it's bringing nothing for either side. So
and to make it even better than that, those of us in Springfield, we're now presented with a very unique opportunity. We're in a position where we can show the world that we can set our politics aside, stand on our morals, and people on the left, people on the right, we can all stand together and tell the world that y'all are screwed up.
Yep.
I wish it could be done and everybody would listen, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things. Music is supposed to be kind of the thing that brings us together, not divides us further apart. So I think the big thing is just keeping that crap at home, and not just. I shouldn't even say that, because it. Who was it? I think it was Noble Bowman. I saw it just randomly on my news feed. This has been probably a week or two ago now. Somebody was, and I didn't read the whole thread. It was one of those that have like 300 comments that you're like, oh God, I don't dare even comment, because then I'm going to get 300 notifications from here on out. But whoever it was obviously had a different opinion than what Noble had. And Noble, rather than trying to go back and forth on Facebook, which is absolutely the wrong thing to do, just said, hey, we're friends, let's go grab a bite to eat, and we'll just sit down and talk about this over a beer or a bite to eat or a cup of coffee or whatever. And that's really how you incite change, is having conversations, not yelling matches, not social media yelling matches. You got to be human to people for your ideas to get across and to register with other people, for them to take you seriously.
Well, and that's kind of what started all of this. I watched the Netflix special about Garth Brooks called The Road I'm On.
That was fantastic and very well done. I watched it start to finish, both episodes back to back. It was amazing. It really was.
The thing that struck me was he was talking about the Independence album and its release, and they decided to release "We Shall Be Free" as a single in August
because of the riots. They redid the order of how they were issuing those singles. Yeah.
And the man was crying on TV during the interview. And you have to give the guy some props,
Yeah, I mean, he was very emotional through a lot of that, actually. I mean, all the reminiscing of the small times before he made it big and stuff. I mean, that was all very emotional stuff for him to rise to fame that much. That's something that's easily forgotten, because it's been so much time since then. But when we were watching it, Anthony was like, man, I didn't realize he was, and I'm like, he was on track to being, like, I don't want to say the next, but a similar path to like a Michael Jackson, where he can go anywhere in the world, be recognized. You know what I mean? He wasn't quite there, but by God, he was on the track to do the same. I mean, he was so far ahead of his time. And in fact, that was kind of a conversation we had, is that it was almost like he was 10 or 15, 20 years too early with the amount of production and stuff that he had involved for a country music show. Nobody was doing that kind of production for a country show. Country shows consisted of some backing band that you didn't know all the members of, and somebody standing in front of a microphone with a guitar and singing, and that was it. So, I mean, he was swinging out into the crowd and climbing trusses and all that kind of stuff. It was insane. Pyrotechnics, all of it.
Well, I used to laugh in that day and told people that the only thing that made Garth Brooks country was the hat and the boots. Because a lot of stuff he was playing was rock.
Yes, and that at the time was very controversial. You had a lot of people that were your country music fans that were like, "He's not country. What is this? This is crap. This is too rock, too hard." My mom still to this day hates him because of that. But yeah, he was very groundbreaking in that. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Well, and he did a lot of wonderful things that people don't get. The river raising awareness for autism, and we shall be free. Talking about the violence in L.A. when L.A. exploded. That was, by the way, that's the tune we did that night. So yeah, Terry, you're exactly right. The division is biting a lot of people in the ass. That was kind of the reason that I even broached the subject. We've seen a lot of our friends, Jared and I both have, that have absolutely ended 10, 20-year friendships over politics. And it's one thing for all these people around us to do it. But we're the musicians. This is with as tight as this community is, there's no excuse for that.
No, you're exactly right. And I mean, it breaks my heart to see other people with these longtime friendships, like you said, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever. That they've invested in each other as friends, but then this is their line in the sand. This is where they're drawing the line, and all this COVID stuff, and just the presidential scope of things, and just there's no space for that. There's just really not. And I agree. I could say so much about just the I don't know, like whenever I was growing up, like I was taught about friendship and how to have healthy friendships and relationships. And one of those is loyalty. And it's not blind loyalty. People screw up, people mess up all the time. And your job as a friend is to help that person back up on their feet, say, "Hey, that wasn't cool. That wasn't kosher what you did, but here's how you could do it better. I'm here for you during your journey of figuring out how to be better about that next time." And another thing, me growing up in a small town, growing up in Ava, Terry knows very well. I was very outcast in that small town. But I had friends that were like, "I have no problem, if I see you at Walmart or whatever, and I'll still come up and say hi or give you a hug or whatever." And that's loyalty. That's unconditional friendship. And I feel that's something that nobody takes into consideration anymore. It's everybody's quick to throw each other under the bus, and it doesn't matter if you've been friends for 5 minutes or 5 years, and that's shameful.
Well, Jared, I got a suggestion.
Okay.
Since you just told me where you grew up, I'm going to tell you where I graduated high school, and then I'm going to point out that you and I, or at least our alma maters, are lifelong enemies.
Oh, really? Oh, do tell. You've piqued my interest.
Alton High.
Oh, really? Wow. I'll be darned. Huh.
So if you and I can exchange a kind word,
right?
There isn't any reason, or there isn't any reason why everybody else can't.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that part of quitting with all the division, like what Terry said, he's so tired of all the division, he's just ready to rock. Part of it is we're giving it in the wrong ways too much light. Meaning, like when you come home from the grocery store and you see somebody without a mask or somebody with a mask, whichever way you fall, you see somebody in the opposite stance and you post about it on Facebook.
Yep.
That doesn't help anything. That's just igniting the flames. I mean, all you're doing is stirring the pot. Like if you notice me, and this is my first time talking about it really publicly, do I post about it on Facebook? Do I comment on people? No, I don't, because I don't want to contribute to that. Do I have strong opinions about it? Fuck yeah, I do. But I'm not stirring the pot with it, I don't want to be divisive. I don't want to be divided. So I choose not to add my 2 cents to that, because frankly, my 2 cents, nobody cares.
You're right.
Now, if that's not to say that there aren't certain people that I'm close to, they're like, "Hey man, how do you feel about this? I mean, how do you react to this kind of thing?" Well, then I'll have that conversation, because the forum is the proper forum. It's probably an in-person thing. They're asking me directly. It's not just throwing your stuff out there for any anybody to read, and you assume that everybody cares about, and they don't. All you're doing is stirring the pot. Josh Poole says, has anyone's mind ever changed by a meme or a snarky Facebook post? You're either preaching to the choir or pissing people off. I will have a conversation with someone anytime face to face, but I won't engage politically on social media. Exactly. Straight up, that's exactly it, Josh. Social media is not the platform. It's not the platform, not just for politics and religion and all that, but no matter what subject it is. If it's music, if you're a big Guns N' Roses fan and somebody is like, "Oh, Guns N' Roses, they suck. Axl Rose is a douchebag," I promise you won't change your mind having a conversation on Facebook. I promise you, it won't happen.
Absolutely fact. Well, and that's the thing. We're all in a position of leadership. All of us. And it would be better served to the community and our fellow musicians to be building bridges instead of burning them down.
Yep, 100%.
It just doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, you're right. That's definitely part of the puzzle that we're missing is the building each other up aspect. All we're doing is tearing each other down and tearing each other apart. But nobody's doing anything to point out the positives or anything like that. And that's personally what I choose to not only fill my Facebook feed with, but what I engage with whenever I see other people post, hey, I got a promotion today, or hey, I finally found a job, or that kind of, like, that's what I put my energy into. And I wish more people would do that, because it doesn't take much, and it doesn't take many people to do that to make it feel like we're not so divided. So
yeah, you're right. And that's kind of the point. That's what I've been talking about on Coffee Talk for the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, exactly, for sure. That's true. Terry says, my best friends are on the other side and constantly purposely insulting. It's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. It's cheap shots. No matter, like you said, whichever side. Again, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Everybody's entitled to be on whatever side they feel is right for them, and that's fine. I don't hold that against anybody. So I think it's just too easy to take crack shots at people, and I guess really not just that, but with no repercussions. There's things that people were doing and saying to each other that, I mean, if it was a face-to-face thing, you definitely wouldn't say, to call somebody a racist, or to call, like, just, my God, you wouldn't do that kind of stuff in person. Or if you did, you get your face punched in or something. It doesn't come without consequence. But online, it comes without consequence. But the consequence isn't immediate. It's this divisive, long-term, like, splitting the crowd kind of feeling. That's really the repercussion.
Right. Well, just as an example of that, I'm going to get up and walk into my living room. Because you haven't been over to see, but you've heard rumors about it.
Oh yeah, so, I have not. So yeah, this is interesting. This is like MTV Cribs. Make sure you show us your refrigerator and stuff too.
All right, I got to change my hat out of the room for just a second. Okay. We've talked about the shadow boxes. Yes.
Now, these are all shadow boxes that you make, is that correct?
Yeah. Well, the LJ makes them.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yep.
And of course, over here we've got this one right here.
Oh man, why is that hanging on the wall in the front room? Shouldn't that be like above the toilet?
That was the first one. That one was the first one. You guys made my wall before we did.
Oh yeah. Well, look, that's a cool looking shadow box, but it's missing one little thing in there.
Well, we'll get something from Sunset Productions and add to it. Okay. Yeah, I see that. I've already sent Jeff a message asking.
There you go.
So.
Yep. Richard Kittleman has got him for sale.
I'll just go see Richard.
What all bands do you have up there? I didn't get to see what all bands besides the Dirty Saints.
Oh goodness.
Are these all Springfield bands, or are there other bands?
No. There's some national acts. Marky Blue and the Rick Latina Project, which is this one. They They played a show at Nathan P. Murphy's that I ran sound for.
Oh, really? God, I haven't been to Nathan P. Murphy's in years.
For Soldeville.
Yep. I like the bow around there. That's a nice touch.
Isn't that cool? This is ours.
Is that a wireless pack or what is that in the middle of that?
That is one of my old Sure built packs.
Gotcha.
And this is Carolyn Sills, Andrea, LJ's favorite up there, Rick Springfield.
Oh, okay, yeah. Rick Springfield, not from Springfield.
Right. Wicked Shimmy. Our good friend Anthony Gomes.
Very cool. I like the Wicked Shimmy, the alternate blue color instead of just the black shirt. That's cool.
Well, gotta be different.
Yeah.
All right. We got Real Fall. The Saints. Chris Duarte group, which we opened for him in November of last year. I ran sound for him about a year ago at Murphy's. Love Bomb. Krantz, I ran sound for Murphy's.
Huh.
Nathan Bryce and Loaded Dice.
That's a bright drumstick.
Yeah. They've got a new bass player.
Jerry Passwaters. He's phenomenal.
There's probably the best one so far.
Oh, wow. Wow.
To everybody's photographer. So
very cool. That's very cool.
now you know why we ask for merch every time we go out.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, I didn't realize that you ran sound at Murphy's. A lot of those bands that you showed that you ran sound for, are those a lot of like blues bands, or are they kind of a little bit of everything? Or
well, like Chris Duarte was one of John Mayer's legends.
Uh-huh.
So he's really progressive. He's kind of like Anthony Gomes. He leans a little more towards rock and roll.
Gotcha. Josh with the insightful quote, "We are the world, we are the children, we're the ones who build a brighter day, so let's start giving." Yeah, honestly, that needs to be like a theme song that plays whenever you open Facebook or something.
Something. Yeah. So now you've actually gotten to see the shadow boxes that have been such a controversial subject.
No, that's really cool. So she does the shadow boxes, but doesn't she also do like some wood burning and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen her wood burning of Wheelhouse, and of course she did some for the Dirty Saints, of which I've got one. And I think it's very cool. It's very well done. How long has she been doing that?
I'm gonna guess maybe 20 years, probably.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah, that wood burning and kind of like what's it called whenever you do like leather impressions or whatever, you like chisel and hammer on leather. My dad did all that back in like the 70s and stuff. And then there was a thing too. I don't know, Stacy, if you're old enough to remember this, but it was a thing too. I remember my dad's childhood home at my grandma's house in his old room. There's like pictures of things, and it has like the outline. So like he's one that he's got is like Snoopy. And it's like nails into this piece of wood with the outline of Snoopy, and then you take string and you're wiring string around all these nails to form the picture and stuff. That was a popular medium, if you will, back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yep. Tooling. Yeah, thank you, Deb. I think that's what it's called. Tooling.
Yep, you're right. Tooling.
Very cool. So, Stacy, do you have...
Okay.
No, oh yeah, no. Hey, I'm still able to breathe, so that's good. No smoke getting in over here. So is Stone Chapel Band playing, or do you guys have any shows booked or anything coming up?
No. Everything we had got canceled.
Gotcha.
So we've just been filling that vacuum of, oh my God, the band that we had booked for this coming weekend is canceled. What can you do?
Gotcha. So are you guys still getting together and practicing and stuff at least?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Every week.
I think that's good. I think that's good for a lot of reasons. First of all, it gives us as musicians a little bit of sanity and at least some sort of normal to have, whether it's once a week or once every 2 weeks or twice a week or whatever, however often you get together as a band. I think it's important to keep that going. Plus, whenever the day comes that they're like, okay, we can finally have shows again. Nobody wants to go out and see a bunch of rusty bands that used to have it and then have lost it over the last 6 months or however long. So
Sure.
I think it's good to keep the oil on the machine kind of thing.
Well, yeah. And we're trying to use this as an opportunity to work up new material. And we've had a significant personnel change in the last 12 months. So when you add two new players, the sound changes, everybody,
The feel, the personality. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're trying to add some stuff that embraces Rico's whatever it is that makes Rico.
Right. Yes.
And some stuff for Roger. And we're trying to turn maybe towards a little more bluesy rock.
Oh, really?
Kind of stuff. So yeah.
I think that's very
Interesting
cool.
stuff.
That's great. I just saw this from a minute ago. Terry said, as an online DJ on a social site, I've noticed music even getting divided: metal, liberal versus rock, conservative. It makes me sick. Yeah, that's interesting to hear. I didn't realize that. To me, I've always been a fan of music as music. I do understand what you're saying, that there's some people that are only country and some people that are only metalheads and stuff. I've been, thankfully, open-minded enough to enjoy music no matter what style it is. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Right. I definitely can see the correlation between like the liberals and conservatives and metal and country as his example. But yeah, I think overall people just need to be a little more open-minded to things, and that'd be better.
Well, what Terry just said is a perfect example of what I said at Shuffle a couple of weeks ago, which is it's not until we start trying to make our politics fit with what we believe or what we want to believe. That's where that division starts to develop.
Yeah.
And then as Jared, not Jared. I'm sorry. Levi.
Oh yeah.
Levi Sharp.
Jeremiah. Yeah.
Something to me that's very, very insightful. He laughed and he said, standing on my front porch, the problem is all these labels. Everybody's got to have a label.
And if you don't, you feel left out and you create one. Yep. You're exactly right. The only label that everybody's forgetting is human.
Yeah.
Or musician or movie fan or whatever. I mean, we're missing out again on the positive spin on things. We're missing that.
Well, even at that, you're still setting yourself up for that
divisiveness. Yeah.
That ultimate separation. Oh, you're a movie fan. Well, what kind of movie fan are you? Are you a Star Trek guy or are you a Star Wars guy?
Right. Exactly. That's a really good point and a really great analogy, actually. And for the record, I'm more of a Star Wars guy.
See, and I'm a Trekkie.
Oh God. Okay. Well, Stacy, it's been fun having you on. No. See, I'm not a big enough fan of either one to be that divisive, but you're right. A label is a label, and it doesn't matter, honestly, if it's a positive spin label or if it's not, because it's the label itself that makes everything divisive. Good point.
I could have said, I could have given a whole lot better of an example of that, probably. I could have said bass player or guitar player.
Right.
Or vocalist, and drummer.
Yep.
Musician is a much better definition or statement, and it leaves out the labels. It leaves out the there's no room for right, there's no room for left, there's no room for progressive, conservative, musician.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the reality is all of us in the scene, out of all of the guys that I've met, I have to say, and I'm kind of proud of this, I don't know anybody that I would genuinely put into one of those horrible definitions. My prior vocation, I was in law enforcement.
Right.
And I was down in Stone County.
Gotcha.
And my very first traffic stop was on a gentleman who was a member of the Knights of the Aryan Nations.
Wow.
And I walked up that car, and he's got a swastika tattooed on the side of his head.
Boy, that'd be an intimidating first stop, to say the least.
Yeah. And I've seen that kind of hatred, and it's real.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
And
it's not confined to just small towns either. People think that's a thing, and that's yeah.
And it breaks my heart because one of the divisions that I witnessed, and we all probably are the most of us on this that are watching are semi-familiar with the circumstances. I walked into a local music store and was introduced to a young man, and through that conversation with those two individuals is what got me to go back and look at the Dirty Saints with an open mind. And that created a really good working relationship. I like to think of all of you guys in your little circle. Jeff, Scott, and Kelly, and Dirt, and Richard. You guys. We think of you guys as friends and family.
Same, yeah. That's very much the same. That's been a interesting. I don't want to say roller coaster ride because it's not been that dramatic, but kind of like what you were saying with Russ and pointing out that you were his Democrat friend and that kind of thing. I mean that. At the end of the day, a spade is a spade. A lot of the members of Dirty Saints are fairly conservative and stuff, right. But I don't say that to corner them on anything. I say that to say they're smart enough, first of all, and open-minded enough to hear other things. Bringing me into the mix was something that everybody welcomed, but at the same time, it was like I don't know about bringing Jared in and having him this involved all the time, because obviously there was differences there. But in that time, I've learned to accept people for who they are. They've learned to kind of reel in some of their old school ways of thinking and stuff and become more open-minded and whatnot. And I can't tell you how strong of a friendship I've got with every person in that band. That's a perfect example of what needs to happen throughout the community, for this to be successful. Yeah, to get rid of all the division. So
yeah, and I didn't mean to call out anybody. But the two people that got me to thinking that way have kind of had a falling out over the last few weeks.
Gotcha.
And those two gentlemen were friends.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's so sad. And it's sad that they don't.
It is.
They're so deep in the forest they can't see the forest for the trees to see that they're getting sucked into all this. It's not even necessarily about the individuals at a certain point. It's just about the agenda that they're trying to. I shouldn't say push, but they are. I mean, they're pushing it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a shame.
And that's kind of the thing, you know. I mean, I don't have any idea what actually happened between the two of them. What I do know for sure is that those two expressed an opinion to me that eventually led to me going back and getting to know the Dirty Saints, getting to know Jeff and Scott, which of course eventually led to getting to know you a little bit, and Richard and Kelly and Dirk. And my mind changed completely about those individuals that I had misunderstood.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and far be it for me to point this out, that Jeff Ward sung "We Shall Be Free" with me at Shuffle after my little speech, and
Right.
bitching people for politics.
Yep, for sure. Well,
So-
like Terry's over here saying, he said he's always been strictly a musician, and now he's got thrown into politics without even wanting it. That's true. It's an interesting dynamic because we work so hard to gain exposure for ourselves and for our bands and projects and stuff. So we have somewhat of a platform as opposed to John Doe that goes to work every day and doesn't maybe has 60 friends on Facebook, where we have sometimes in the thousands. We then feel the need to use that platform to accelerate our own agendas and stuff. And like you're saying, Terry, that you kind of get thrown into being a politician to a certain extent.
Yep.
At the very least, you decide what you have to filter out and what you don't. And it's just, I don't think music is a place. I would never get on stage in a local band and spout off my opinions to a crowd of people that have paid their money not to hear me spout off political crap. They want to come and get entertained and get away from that. So it's just not the right avenue. And he also says that with his son being gay, he gets really sick of small town thinking. That's Terry, you probably very well know that's the exact reason I got out of Ava. First of all, it was getting to the point where I, kind of borderline didn't really even feel safe, and I sure didn't feel welcomed. So that's why I moved to Springfield. But yeah, we just need to be more loving towards each other, more accepting of differences. We don't all have to be the same. God, that's what I feel like everybody's pushing is you're so far over here and you're so far over here and we got to meet in the middle. Well, meeting in the middle does not mean becoming the same and having the same ideas. It's cool to be different, but you're just not even just less extreme on your views. You're more accepting of more views, and that's what actually creates the bigger middle ground. So yeah, Terry, I feel for you on that.
Terry's right. And so are you. The thing that what we all need to be pushing. If there's going to be a united agenda, it's cooperation and caring. I don't know any other way to say it. I wish it were different. But
Same.
Unfortunately, we live in a world where this band is going to say, "Oh, that band sucks," or this guy's going to say, "Oh, those people are no good." Don't bother going to whomever.
Yeah.
And we can change that.
We absolutely can. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's up to us as individuals to take that first step. We can't just expect change and we can't sit here and go, "Oh man, this sucks. We're so divided." You can't do that. You have to be a part of the solution. It's not just not being a part of the problem. You have to be a part of the solution. You have to, even if it's you challenge yourself to once a day post something positive, something not political, not anything, not divisive, just something not divisive, or go on somebody else that's doing that and comment on it and bring them up, because I promise you the thing that's going to happen is your morale is going to feel lighter. You're going to feel like, man, I'm doing something good, and you're going to continue doing that, and that's what we need more of. That's the answer. That's the solution to all this crap.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
Yep. Indeed.
See, now you done screwed my you done screwed up my video.
Oh yeah. Did I?
Oh yeah. Because we just
did I take your little script and just do this little number on it and just go, well, it's out the window and it is what it is?
It is what it is.
Well, I'm sorry to steal an episode from you, man, but I needed one too.
Hey, it's no worries, man.
No, I think it's great. Again, I really enjoy watching your live streams and stuff. I do find them informative and entertaining. And I just, I overall I like your positive attitude more than anything, Stacy. I think always seeing you with a smile on your face and something nice to say. We need more Stacy Haneys in the world for sure.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
I don't do things I do for self gratification. I do it trying to help you guys. But it makes the guy feel good to know that what he's done has been noticed.
Exactly. Yep. And that's what I'm saying is we need more of that. We need to be noticing more of that, pointing out that kind of stuff, not the divisive negative crap. Point out positives.
On that note, let's give a shout out to Barb Hensick of AMP Entertainment, who's in the hospital. And
I didn't. This is news to me. I didn't know that, Stacy. What's going on?
I think she's still in the hospital.
Wow.
Jim Davis is also in the hospital.
Yes, he is. I just talked to him today, and it sounds like he's going to be getting his own room out of ICU into a regular room tomorrow, I believe. I think they were shooting for that today, but he said his lungs weren't up to capacity or whatever. So, but tomorrow, yeah. After what was it? He was scheduled for a triple bypass and ended up going for a double. But yeah, I hate seeing members of our own community down and out like that. But I'm glad that you're doing the shout out because I think that's a good thing. Raises morale, and again, it's more positive that we're spreading. So good.
Sure. Well, listen, Jared, I've got to get moving, man.
Same here. I very much appreciate you coming on and puppeteering for the first 10 minutes before I figured out that it was one button as to why I couldn't hear you. So 100% my fault. The technical devilry continues here on the Audio Roast podcast. There's always something every week, it seems like. So, all right, Stacy, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us here today.
Hey, thanks, Jared, for having me. And,
you bet.
We'll see you out there, man.
Sounds good. We'll have you here in the studio soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, indeed. Stacy Haney from the Stone Chapel Band. I thought that was nice. That was refreshing. I'm glad to touch on some of this because that's the thing. So many people are skirting around some of this, but sometimes it just needs to be discussed. You can't get anything gained by not addressing the elephant in the room kind of thing. That's why, TV shows and stuff, you think of groundbreaking, provocative TV shows and movies and stuff. Like we look back in history and go, oh man, I can't believe they said that. Well, for the time that was really groundbreaking. If they're talking about birth control or if they're talking about gay marriage or whatever the heck they were talking about. But we have to continue to do that. We have to continue to break ground and bring up the elephants in the room in a positive light, not by throwing people under the bus and that kind of thing. So I think something like this is a step towards that, but really it's the sit-down conversations in person and that kind of stuff. Obviously, with everything going on, that's not always doable, but it's just having civil conversations with friends and just doing your part to be positive and spread positivity, positive attitudes and stuff. Brian Betancourt says, love the show. I'm really glad you enjoy it. I saw up here earlier you had said something too, Brian, that I missed. I'm not sure what it was you were referring to. You said, of course I can't find it quick enough, that you were glad we were talking about something, but I don't remember what it was that we were talking about. Thank you guys for saying this. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was we were saying, but you're welcome. So, to kind of keep this, Terry says this has been informative with no script or plan. Well, good. It makes me feel better because I can't tell you the amount of anxiety I've had all day, especially as it got closer. When the clock hit 4 o'clock and I'm like, man, I'm only an hour away and I have nothing. That's kind of it was just a very hefty feeling. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it and sticking around. Tyler Weeks says, I love the show, and the guy that does your ad breaks sounds really good. I agree. However, the guy that provided the microphone wasn't doing his job right, and so yeah, some of it's kind of distorted. So we'll have to have you back in to do our reads. For those of you that don't know, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and throw to one right now. Tyler Weeks is the one that I had come in and do the voiceovers for our commercials that I use here on the show. I hear myself talk so much, and I had I had a conversation about this just last week on the show. As a matter of fact, with my cousin Abigail, she was talking about how she doesn't like to hear the sound of her voice back, and I think everybody's probably like that for the most part. I don't know that anybody really enjoys hearing themselves back, but I think that I hear myself too much, and so I wanted to have somebody come in and redo those voiceovers for the commercials and whatnot, so that it was something else and kind of broke up the monotony. So, yeah, with that being said, I'll go ahead and throw to one of Tyler's fine works of art. This is a little something I put together for my production company, Sunset Productions.
Musicians, do your shows need that extra layer of fun and excitement? Wow your fans with next level production. Let Sunset Productions help you up your game. We can create custom and unique sound, lighting, and video packages designed just for you and your budget. Let's work together and give our community the shows they deserve. Contact Jared Isaacs and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Sunset Productions. Don't be a jukebox, be an experience.
Very cool. Tyler, I thought it was really well done. I think you've got a fantastic radio voice. And of course, he and I, whenever he was here to do the recording and stuff, sorry, I'm stirring my ingredients into my next cup of coffee. Cup number, what is this, 3, maybe 4 already by now. I'm a bit of a coffee connoisseur, but I'm more so just a coffee addict. So, Terry says, "You liar! You love your own voice." Yeah, you're probably not too far off base, I guess. As much as I talk to myself. Glad you were talking about this. That's what I was thinking. Gotcha. Yeah. I really do think it needs to be discussed. It's not something necessarily that I want to spend a lot of time on because, again, I'm about lifting up and being positive, but that doesn't mean I'm going to skirt around and try to avoid, like the plague, having conversations about, the elephant in the room. So, Brian says, "I'm open to talk about anything, just don't like it put on a knife and put in my back, then told I have to like it." Again, thank you for this show today. Absolutely. And that's kind of what Stacy and I were hitting on, was everybody's force feeding their agendas and their opinions down everybody's throat. And I'll say that 9 out of 10 times, nobody cares. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares what I think. But it's in environments like this where, we're kind of already together as a group and are willing to take on a conversation. And that's a totally different thing as opposed to, scrolling through your newsfeed on Facebook and it's just right there, or you find out somebody's personally attacking you or your character, and it's just, man, it gets dirty quick. So it's all about doing it in a positive light. Tyler Weeks says, August 9th, looking forward to being in the studio with you. Absolutely. So what Tyler is referring to is our upcoming events. So I'll go ahead and take this time. I said it last week, but like I said, we went really long last week, so I don't know who all stayed for how long, but I'll kind of give you a heads up on what's coming down the pike for the next few weeks here on the Audio Roast podcast. Today was actually going to be a certain subject, but because one of the guests wasn't able to make it, I just scrapped it altogether, and I'm going to save that because it's really good content. I think it's going to be an exciting show. It's going to be really, if you think this is informative, what I was working on was going to be really informative. Excuse me. But next week, for all you rock and roll fans, and Terry, I might hit you up, as a matter of fact. I don't know why I'm just now piecing this together. Next week, we are doing a AC/DC show, and it's in the format of our second edition of Classic Album Clash. So we're going to be taking 2 albums, both by AC/DC, and pitting them against each other. Not in a tournament-style bracket. That's Tournament of Champions. And Classic Album Clash, what we're going to be doing is taking two albums in their entirety and track by track putting them against each other and deciding which album is the better album by that artist. And so for our AC/DC episode next week, we're going to be taking Bon Scott's last album, Highway to Hell, and putting it against Brian Johnson's debut album with AC/DC, Back in Black, and put those two albums together, again, track by track, and see which album had the most wins, if you will, which was the better AC/DC album. So it's not necessarily you're a Bon Scott guy or you're a Brian Johnson guy. It's which album is better. So I think that's going to be exciting. I think actually I'm going to go ahead on record and say of all the classic... What is happening? Is that really happening? Can you guys hear that? I hope that like the guitar doesn't kick in, but holy hell. I don't know why. What is happening? There's music playing and I don't know why. I mean, that's cool, but I have no idea what's happening right now. Somehow there's music playing. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I hope I don't get shut down for this. There's no music playing anywhere on any device I have. Oh, yes there is. That's great. Thanks a lot, Siri. Holy hell. That was funny. I thought it was like whenever I threw AC/DC up on the screen that it triggered something. But yeah, wow, that was insane. Sorry, I didn't expect Siri to be on. I was like, man, that's intense. Okay, so anyway, so next week is AC/DC. The week after that, August 2nd, is hip-hop from the year 2000. Not the 2000s, but just the 1 year, 2000. And I've got one guest already lined up for that. That's going to be, again, August 2nd. So anybody else out there that is a big hip-hop head from the year 2000 and hasn't been on the show yet, hit me up because I'd love to have you on. And then, again, after that is on August 9th. Where'd you go? Right there. August 9th, Tyler Weeks and somebody else who I don't have booked yet is going to be doing a episode of country music from the year 1995. So that was a big, huge year for country music. There was a lot of artists that had debut albums as well as like sophomore albums. A lot of people that had debuted already in the 90s with follow-up albums and stuff. So a lot of really good musicians. A ton of great songs that are still memorable. So yeah. Then after that, we've got just how we're doing AC/DC next week. The week after that, in the middle of August on the 16th, we'll be doing the same thing with Van Halen. And again, I've got one guest booked, need a second guest, and I think I might already have the person that's going to be joining us on that. So not sure. The week after that, we're doing the first ever MTV Music Video Awards that took place in September of 1984. So we'll be covering all the nominees and winners and stuff, going down and seeing if we agree with those, if the people that we think should have won, if they didn't, the performances and stuff that happened, etc. And then on August 30th, we'll be doing a Tournament of Champions, the second edition. This time, actually, a little bit unorthodox. We'll be doing TV theme shows. So not even just musicians and music that we hear on the radio. This is TV theme songs. So TV shows, I don't know. We might even just do one decade, or we might do of all time, that kind of thing. But we'll do a whole bracket of TV theme songs that have stuck with us and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what's coming down the pike for the rest of July and August. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun shows coming up. Hopefully you guys will stick around and tell your friends to join in on it. So yeah. This sounds like something I pulled on Matt Deacons at camp one year. Yeah. I really thought my computer was possessed all of a sudden, and maybe just by saying AC/DC, it triggered the computer to do something. I don't know. This whole computer thing over here is freaking me out today. It's freaking me out, man. Was the Nashville button engaged? It was engaged hardcore. We went to Nashville and back because it took so long to figure out what's going on. I Nashvilled twice in one show, Josh. Can you believe it? You ought to do an anti-genre episode. Example, metalheads review hip hop. That's a really good idea. I actually have thought about doing that. I would love to hear more about how we should do that because, of course, the format in the past has been get somebody that's familiar with what we're doing because a lot of what we do is playing games and trivia and that kind of stuff regarding that. So that they obviously wouldn't know the answers to any kind of games or any artists or genre-centric things that they're not familiar with. But I know that there's got to be a workaround to kind of expose them to this kind of stuff. So I'm very open to ideas on how we can do that because I think that's a brilliant idea. Even if it's coming in and reacting to covers of people doing songs from alternate genres that they're into and that kind of stuff. I think that could be very, very interesting. It'll definitely make for entertaining content because nothing makes people more entertained than seeing people antsy and just uncomfortable. Terry said that would be like me reviewing hip hop. I don't listen to it at all. Well, what are you doing August 2nd? It would be like when kids listen to classic rock. Yeah, exactly. Except for they'd be calling us boomers, and I'm not here for that. So still waiting on my episode to come up. Me too, Ashley. Ashley has talked to me in private about being a very lyric-centric music listener. So the big thing that Ashley listens for is the lyrical content and that kind of stuff. And the genre then kind of follows after that. The first thing that Ashley looks for is lyrics and the meanings behind songs and that kind of stuff, because that's how Ashley is able to relate to music. And I think that's killer too. Or kids using a rotary dial phone. Oh my God. Terry, you have no idea. So some of the YouTube stuff that we watch people reacting to old technology and stuff like that. And to watch a kid try and send a text message on a rotary phone, while it's funny, it also kills me because that wasn't that long ago. I had one growing up. So yeah, it just blows my mind. So speaking of old technology and stuff, that's a terrible, terrible segue. I wanted to bring this up because, like I said earlier before we brought Stacy on, this is something that came across my Facebook newsfeed, and so I looked it up. I won't spoil it for you, but I want to get your take on this. This is, like I said, this was taken 2 days ago. This was taken July 17th of 2020. Looks like in Pepper Park in Roanoke, Virginia. This is Dokken doing In My Dreams, which is a favorite song of mine. I used to sing this in, I think we did this in my old band Rat Poison, as a matter of fact. And man, I love singing this song. Here's the thing too. Obviously, as time goes on, a song like that from an artist or a band like that isn't going to have the staying power vocally in something like this, because some of those notes are so high and stuff, and 9.5 times out of 10, the people that perform those, crazy high notes and stuff, you look at Slaughter, you look at Dokken, you look at a lot of bands like that, aren't able to keep that super high register into their 40s and 50s and 60s and stuff. It's just super hard. So you have to give a little bit of credit, but at the same time, whew. So yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, here's your chance. This is, again, Dokken In My Dreams from 2 days ago. 2. crazy. That is, man. Miles Kennedy, baby, still hitting it. Oh, sorry. Being such a hardcore Axl Rose fan, not a fan of Miles. He doesn't have good tone, in my opinion. Can he hit the high notes and all that? Yeah. Now, hang on. His lower register stuff that he does with Alter Bridge and stuff like that, I really like it. It fits him well. Him trying to do Guns N' Roses covers and stuff can eat a dick, as far as I'm concerned. Just saying. The good thing about that, though, is that I could potentially contribute to a show about any genre. That's exactly right, Ashley. It's very true. Still not as bad as the Vince Neil live video. That's true. Also, Josh, again, that was 2 days ago. So I did a little bit more looking into this, and this was March 6th of this year. And as you can see in the title, it says first show since Dawn's surgery. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But so this is just like 3 or 4 months ago. Same song. Better breath control and better pitch. Okay, better breath control. So yeah, that's the thing too. They would sound nothing like what they used to sound like if it wasn't for their band singing backups so heavily. Yeah, it's a shame. Somewhere, right here. I even Googled what's wrong with Don Dokken, and this is what happened. In case you don't know, he had a neck surgery and spinal surgery in November, and complications partially paralyzed his right arm and hand, with Dokken saying, "My hands are dead," in a January interview. However, a statement on Dokken's Facebook page states that the metal singer is doing better and expected to fully recover. So if we go back to this first one, right here, if you watch his arm over here, that's true. I mean, the one he's grabbing the mic with right now, the stand, he's not got a lot of movement in that. So I give him credit for that, as well as obviously his neck, and it's going to put strain in your vocal cords if you're not able to support your own neck physically. If you don't have the strength and the muscles and the bone capacity to do that, you're not going to be able to sing right. However, as bad as this sounds, there's more to it than that. I don't know if he's over medicated, professionally or recreationally or whatever, but something else is going on. I would venture to say. What would you guys think if you paid money to come and see somebody like this? Honestly, if you paid to see Dokken or any band for that matter, and whether it was a guitar player or a singer or a drummer or whatever, something wasn't right, would you feel sorry for them? Would you be supportive, or would you feel upset and feel like you were deserved of a refund and that kind of thing? And the reason I ask that is because, well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's either you have to say yes, that you're okay with that and you feel bad for them, or that you don't, you feel upset and you feel like you're deserving of a refund, but you would have rather paid for somebody else to be in their spot, because it's got to be one or the other. You can't bitch about bands that that's not the original singer, this isn't really them. Well, would you rather listen to somebody that's not really them, or would you rather listen to the people that are original and god awful? And no disrespect to Don or anybody in Dokken, but I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, is what I'm saying. Terry says, I'd be wanting my money back unless I'm a diehard fan, no matter what. Fair. That's totally fair. If that was Guns N' Roses and that was Axl sounding that bad, I'd still be there. As a way to say thank you for all that he had done before that. So yeah. Deb says, I love them both. Miles doing their music, not somebody else's. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's fair. Yeah. Trying to see here. Oh, I know the other thing too. I was going to throw up. I know, Tara, throwing more stuff up. Because Christy Pressler was asking about when am I going to perform next. This was taken from our King Diamond tribute band. Oops. I believe this was, actually March of 2014 is when this took place. So yeah, I'll throw this up here and do a little commentary over this here in a second. Axel and Ozzy pretty much the only ones I would stick around for. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be. I mean, again, no offense to Dokken, but they were never as big as Ozzy or Black Sabbath or Guns N' Roses or Aerosmith or the Rolling Stones. You know, all the major like top tier bands. They weren't that. They were probably tier 2, but they weren't first tier. You know, so very rarely do you say, "Hey, what's your favorite band?" And somebody's like, "Oh man, Dokken." That doesn't happen very often, so that's a fair point too. So yeah, this is 2015 with my King Diamond tribute band, Eye of the Witch.
Tonight there is no rest for the wicked. Are you feeling wicked out there? Tonight, fellas and ladies, we shall all have sleepless nights.
Nothing like hearing show-specific banter in a playback. Out of context, it seems like, oh, that was hokey, but in the moment, it was really cool. Same with letting audience members sing the song along with you. You know, if you're singing, you hand the mic out to somebody. It's cool in the moment, but watching it back, it's like, I should have just kept singing. I miss singing this stuff so much, you have no idea. Yeah, Deb, you bring up a good point. It would depend on the artist. Like you said, if it's somebody that you might never see get to perform again, then you would go see them. That's very true. It's one of those things too. You never know when it's going to be too late. You know, you see that with like Linkin Park. We thought we would have had chances to see Linkin Park again. Same with Tom Petty. Hell, probably even Charlie Daniels. And I mean, there's been so many that have gone too early, where we take for granted that we have an opportunity to see them. You know, so that's a good point, Deb. Terry Jones, question: when you hear yourself sing a high note on a recording, do you hold your breath as if you hope you don't screw it up, or is it just something I do? You have no idea. And as a matter of fact, very, very rarely do I hear something back and I'm like, yeah, I nailed it. Very rare. It's not because I suck, but sometimes I do. It's a matter of being a perfectionist. It's a matter of knowing where you're supposed to be and what it's supposed to sound like, and the smallest little thing, even if it's not pitch related, if you hit the note right and you're just your breath control isn't right, or the tone, the shape of your mouth, it's supposed to be more of an O sound, you're making more of an ah sound, or that kind of, like, I nitpick so much. So you're absolutely not alone in that. Very, very rarely do I hear stuff back. Like, that was one that when I hear it back, I'm like, oh, that was good. I dig it. There was one note in there where through the majority of the song, for those of you, if you're not familiar, the chorus is sleepless nights, sleepless nights, and he does like this big scoop, but on the first one, it's just sleepless nights. It's just one, like, straight note. And to hit that, like, just like you're throwing a dart, just perfectly straight, is very, very difficult. To not put vibrato in, or not to, like, move the pitch a little bit, that kind of thing. And in that video, I nailed it. I don't know if I in my opinion, if I never get any better than what I did on that note for that kind of thing, that's what I mean. Are there people that could do it better? Hell yeah, of course. But for me doing it, it was my best. So. Of course, I'll never be able to find it. Here it is. Nights! Yeah. No, Terry, you're not alone. It's a singer thing, I think. And honestly, it's not even just that. Guitar players, too. I know my guitar player, Richard, he knows when he has a good solo and when he is like, man, I could have done better on that solo, or I have done better than that in previous times. So it's just being a musician. It's being an artist, honestly. If you're a painter and you've painted trees before, and all of a sudden you paint trees in your new painting, and you're like, that doesn't look anything like what my trees are supposed to look like. Now, does that mean, again, just like I was saying, does that mean other people can't draw trees better than you? No, of course they can. They do. I'm here to tell you they do. But it's about what's your best. So no, I think all of us strive to be our best. There's some kick-ass tribute bands around, Deb says. It takes a ton of work to put on a tribute that, and there are people who go, ew, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of tribute bands. I'll be honest. There's a lot of them that either need to put more work into it before they start playing shows, or I don't know. I'm not trying to throw people under the bus. There are really some good ones, even around here. But there's also some that I'm like, man, if you would have had a better lineup of people in this project, and that's the thing too. If you're really involved in the local music community and stuff, and you're able to, see a bigger roster of musicians and people, it's easier for us to go, okay, I would put that person with this person and have them sing and have this person play drums. It's easy to see that kind of stuff. But when you see some bands that just, I don't know, maybe the energy itself isn't there. It's not even the talent. It's just like, this band is known for being peppy and upbeat, but when you go see the tribute band, it's not so much. Now I've also seen the other way, where it's like, holy cow, this tribute band is almost as amazing as the actual band. To the point that we were making earlier with Don Dokken in Sunset Strip in my old band. That was my personal, that was where I had my bar for myself, was I wanted to at least sound as good, if not better, than what the bands that we're representing and doing covers of. So if we were doing Guns N' Roses, or if we were doing Dokken, I wanted to sound better than what they do now. If you went and saw Dokken in 2016 or whatever, whenever Sunset Strip was around, I wanted you to be able to come and see Sunset Strip and say, man, you guys, you sounded better, or you sang that better than Don Dokken did today. That kind of thing. Now, could I do Don Dokken in 1983? Jesus, no. Oh my God, no. No way. There's a reason they made it as big as they did. But that was always kind of my bar, sort of say. Breath control sucks when you move around a lot. Yep, you're right. That's where cardio comes in, my friend, and I lost it. So the quarantine has not been good to me. Somebody, Scott Henry, as a matter of fact, bass player for the Dirty Saints this weekend, had a good little kind of a one-liner joke. He was like, the 19 and COVID-19 isn't for the year 2019, it's for the amount of pounds that you put on during quarantine. and I thought that was very true. I play guitar and sang both in studio. I couldn't focus on the guitar after hearing my voice and redoing it 5 or 6 times. So in the studio, you did both together, not just live, but in the studio, you recorded guitar at the same time that you sang. I find that interesting. Not right or wrong, just interesting. As to why you didn't just do one and then do the other kind of thing. Is it because you're so used to doing both at the same time? Was it kind of like a comfort feeling of you just feel like you're missing something, or you don't have the safety blanket of your guitar when you're singing? Because you're very capable of both. I just find that kind of interesting. In all my projects, we've done everything 100% separate, so that's neat. Yeah, tribute bands automatically get critics. You're right, but a lot of that becomes an inherited fan base of the actual band, and their level of expectation is the exact same level of expectation that they have for that said band. So I think that's why it's inherent to get those critics. Yeah. I don't see. Again, I wish I had some footage of our Capgun Chaos thing. I don't think I do. I don't think I have any. But yeah. Trying to see here in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. I think we're right at about 2 hours or so, a little over. So if anybody else has anything else that they would like to talk about this week, I'm definitely open to staying as long as you guys want to stay. Up to, I'll cut it off at 3 hours, I guess. I don't want to do another 5-hour show. That was that was a lot. But if you guys have more that you'd like to talk about, I'd love to hear from you guys. That's the thing too. For me, whenever I have guests here, I'm always so focused on the guests and making sure that they have a good experience and stuff, and trying to bring you guys in with that. That I'm actually really kind of digging the idea of every now and then just doing a check-in with just me and you, and kind of see what's on your mind. How can we make the show better for you? Are there things that we're doing that you really enjoy that if we took away, you'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Or are there things that you're like, I like what you're doing, but maybe tweak it like this? That's what I want to hear from you. Ways to make this better, because this isn't my show. This is our show. And I don't say that to sound like a corny tool. I say that because it's genuine. I genuinely want to entertain you guys. I want to bring information to you. I want to showcase people in this area that are musicians, and not even just musicians, venue owners, venue managers, promoters, all kinds of. I have all kinds of stuff planned that's outside of what you would expect, sort of say, from us. So yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm going out of order. Brian says, lots of great talent in Springfield. I don't criticize because I can only play the stereo. I can't. Oh yeah, no, I got what you meant. I think that's great. My mom, I had my dad here for Father's Day, for our Father's Day episode. My mom does not play an instrument at all, but that's where I got my actual appreciation for music from. I honestly probably would not have really stopped to have that appreciation for music had it not been for her. If it was up to my dad, like, I would have been exposed to music, but I wouldn't have had that, like, kind of what Ashley Berry was talking about, like, just that real connection to what, for Ashley, it's lyrics and that kind of thing. For me, it's overall just vibes and energy and storytelling. Honestly, storytelling is probably the biggest thing for me. Storytelling, not just limited to lyrics, but also in the musicality itself. Is it heavy? Does it make you bob? Or, does it make you think? Does it make you somber? That kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's great to have that appreciation. Another thing that about my mom's appreciation for music, and kind of so you guys have an insight to the show here at the Audio Roast Podcast, is the reason I do a lot of the games and stuff is, first of all, I enjoy playing them. I enjoy watching people play games. I grew up watching, Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune, et cetera, all these kind of things. But one of my favorite things about growing up as a kid with my mom, showing her appreciation for music is we'd be riding in the car, for example, and a song would come on, and she'd turn the radio up, and she'd yell at us in the back seat, "Hey, I'll give you a quarter to the first person that could tell me who's singing this." And so we made a game out of it. And so that's kind of, a continuation of what she started, is what this show is keeping your mind on music, trying to get you to dig deeper into what you're open to hearing, that kind of thing. Even in the local scene. That's why I also showcase whenever I have guests on what they're doing, whether it's original music or cover songs or whatever. It's just a matter of opening up our library, I guess, if you will, is the only way I know to put that, is of what you enjoy, what you're capable of enjoying. So yeah. I actually played rhythm later, but played lead while doing vocals just because I needed to feel it. Okay, now that I can relate to. I can relate to that for a couple of reasons, because you needed to feel it, but also I'm assuming you probably didn't actually sing as you're soloing. It was probably singing and then go to a solo and then sing and then go to a solo kind of thing. So yeah, I can get that. Deb says, if you hear a band that does a song bad, do you tell them, or do you talk amongst yourselves? Or does someone in the band say, we shouldn't do the song anymore because it doesn't sound quite right? It's a very, very good point, and there's a lot to unpack in that, and I'm happy to unpack that. Let me take a drink. That way I can get the hiccups again for about the 6th time through the show. Okay, so I'm going to go in reverse order of what you asked, Deb. Does someone in the band say we shouldn't do the song anymore because it doesn't sound quite right? In my case, yes. So in Sunset Strip, there would be songs that we would try, and whether it was me singing it not well, or a guitar solo not being there, or the rhythms not coming together, or whatever the case, and it's not just in Sunset Strip, it's in anything I've done. Absolutely, we will say, hey, that's not going over well, whether it's on a musical level or on the other aspect of things. Being in a cover band, you're there to excite a crowd and to entertain a crowd, no different from any other band, obviously, but if you're doing a song and you're doing a song because you enjoy it and you're like, man, I love this song, I can't wait to play this with my band, but if it doesn't fit your band, or more importantly, if it doesn't fit your audience, cut it. I don't care how much you love it. If you're playing in a band and you think that this song is going to be a good fit for your band, and you find out that you're wrong, stop it, cut it out. You don't need to do it. It's not about you doing a guilty pleasure if your overall goal with the band previously has been to entertain the crowd, or I just wanted to play whatever to get people up and dance. Well, if they're not reacting, guess what? Either you're not doing it right, or it's just a song that they don't care to get on with, whether it's dancing or to rock out to, or to headbang with, or whatever. So yeah. Now to your other part of the question, if you heard a band that does a song bad, do you tell them? Or do you talk amongst yourselves? Definitely talk amongst yourselves. Well, actually, wait a minute. I should rephrase that. Do you mean talks amongst yourselves as a band, or as somebody going, like if you go and just walk into a bar and you hear a band and you're like, oh God, these guys suck, and you just talk to whoever you came in with and you're like, man, this really blows, or God, I can't believe that guitar player's wearing those pleather pants, or whatever the case. If that's what you mean, yeah, of course, because we're judgmental assholes. It takes a real friend and a real person of integrity to be able to say, hey man, I dig what you're doing through most of that set, but I don't think that this song really jives with you. That takes a special kind of person, and it's really touchy too. Music is very touchy because it's so subjective. I think it's a good point, Deb. I think that I don't know what I think, to be honest, on that, because I think that there's room for people to speak up and say that to people, to help them out. Same as what I'm saying for you guys with the show. If there's something I'm doing that you're like, man, if you would just do this, it'd be amazing. Tell me. I'm telling you, I'm open to that. The thing is, not everybody is open to that kind of thing, so the platform isn't necessarily there. I think that's where your band members come into play, and it's a group responsibility. It's a team to kind of do that. No different from sports. If you're a football team, or if you're a basketball team, and all of a sudden your told to make a play or whatever, and it doesn't go over, and it hasn't gone over in the last 3 games, it's up to either the coach, aka the band leader or whatever, or just the team itself to say, hey man, I appreciate you, wanting to do this play, but it's not cutting it. It's not, we're not good at it. And then at that point, you have a decision to make. You can either go back and try to work on it and make it better, or you can just drop it and move on. So, yeah. Because of the world, I'm doing more local stuff, and it's great. Well, that's fantastic, Brian. I think that's great. Terry says, I've actually got to put a 2-hour DJ set together, but kind of forgot about it after I turned on your show. Yeah, well, sorry to hold you up on that, Terry. I had no idea that you were an online DJ, so I'd be interested to hear what kind of stuff do you play. I'm assuming via your comment from earlier, you're doing a little bit of everything if you're talking about metal and country music and stuff. So I'm assuming probably no rap or hip hop or whatever, since you said you weren't really a fan. So yeah. Correct. I call it all doing the CCR. I make sure that I don't sing and play lead at the same time. I'll lose focus on one or the other. Yep, for sure. That's what she means. Musicians take constructive criticism worse than anyone because we put more into it than others see. That's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. It's really easy for somebody to just walk in and see somebody and think, oh, this sucks. But you don't know if that was something that they just put together on the fly right there at the show, or if it's something that they've been practicing and rehearsing for months, who knows, or weeks. So yeah, that's really, really strong point, Terry. His DJ show is all rock and metal. Well, personally, being a metalhead and a big time rock and roller, I would love to have a link, or how can we listen in to what you're doing, Terry? Joshua says, fortunately, Springfield has so much talent. You would be hard pressed to find a band or any major venue that isn't great. That's very true. That's very true. However, I will say there's a lot of shit out there too. Period. Obviously, it's not worth naming names and stuff, but there's good and there's bad. Thankfully, you're right though. The ratio is way more to the good side, so I think that's fantastic. Really, ultimately, it's all about gaining experience. That's a thing too. Kind of going on what Deb was saying, would you tell somebody? Well, it depends also how long have they been playing. I mean, are these kids, playing a show from School of Rock or something? Because God, no, we would be so supportive. That's actually brings up another thing in my covering covers segment. If you notice, I never ever have a kids band, because I'm a big proponent of raising up with positivity bands comprised of kids. We've all been there. We've all been that 13, 14-year-old kid with their first guitar or first learning how to sing or whatever. That's the ultimate, most shitty thing that you could do, is to tear down a kid that's trying to get better at something. You can't expect anybody, whether it's a kid or an adult, to on day one be as good, or at least at the same level as you, if you've been working on it and putting work into it for years and years. It's just not fair. So that's why you'll never, ever, ever, ever see me put kids or kids bands or a band with a kid in it on covering covers, because I don't believe in that. So yeah, I think it's more important to bring them up and to whatever word is escaping me. Terry said, I'll send you a link. I'm on Wednesday and Friday, but may be covering another DJ tonight. Gotcha. Terry, is this on YouTube, or is this like on SoundCloud or Spotify, or what kind of online stuff? Or is it just like a website of some sort? As a parent, Kim says, there is not enough live music available for underage viewers, in my opinion. It's very true also. Kim is a big fan of music and live music and stuff. But being a mother, a stepmother of a kid that's underage, that's something that Kim brings up a lot, and that's actually very important, is to have the option, no different from my show right now. I'm giving you the option to either watch along live here on Facebook and or YouTube. I also re-upload the episode to YouTube, and eventually I'll take out on the streams. Obviously, there's better quality and stuff, but and also an audio only format. I do so much to offer as many options to you that I feel like we as musicians and venues as well need to do the same to offer as many options to get your name out there to as many people as possible. And that includes kids or minors, even if it's not, 6 and 7 year olds, at least, the 16 to 20 or 18 to 20 or whatever ratio age you want to call. Because guess what? If you look back in the music industry, that's really what sells. That's the demographic. If you're wondering like, why does nobody ever come to our shows? Guess what? You're playing to people that are too old. That's why. Why do you think bands like I don't know, One Direction or Lizzo or Billie Eilish? I'm trying to think of things that are popular now. Look at what they cater to. It's not people in their 40s or 30s and 50s or whatever. It's kids, man. Kids are what buy albums, and if they don't, they get their parents to buy albums and that kind of thing. So if you don't have exposure to that, that's why you don't have people at your shows. That's why you're working so hard to garner support, is because you're playing to the wrong demographic. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with playing to a demographic that's older. I'm just saying you can't expect to have the level of success as people that offer a wider range in their demographic, that are more accessible to kids, or even young people in general. Brian, do you have kids on at all? I have not yet. It doesn't mean I'm not open to it. I would love to hear. That's actually, I'll be honest, I never even really thought of that. I think it would be interesting to have somebody on that's, 13, 14 years old, learning in the beginning stages of learning their craft or their instrument or whatever artistry they have, and hearing about the beginning part of their journey. It's, that's something I'm really glad you said that, because I would have never thought of that. We have guests on the show and we talk about them in past tense in that, but we never have anybody in the moment that's beginning that journey. And I think that would be a really cool dynamic, especially to have somebody young and either somebody that's been doing it for a long time, or maybe like we had Tara on. She's a vocal coach. We've got plenty of people that teach guitar and all kinds of things. That would be a really cool dynamic to have something like that. I'm trying to read these comments now. I could tell I'm onto something good because the comments are flying, so that's good. It's a social website lounge. International House of Rock is where you can find Terry's DJ sets on. Oh boy, I already forgot. I have no memory. And no eyesight either. God, I love getting old. Oh, here it is. So that's Wednesdays and Fridays that he does his DJ set. Kim says, "Preach it, mister. You bet." Fishing for Saturday. I've heard of them. Joshua Poole says, "Some of my favorite gigs are family-friendly festivals like Rock and Ribs. I love seeing my kids dancing to my music." That's very true. I think that's part of it too. So many of us associate playing out and doing shows with just going to a bar and drinking, a couple pitchers of beer or whatever through the night and playing your songs and just rinse and repeat. That when we get into those situations like what you're talking about, Josh, and I've been there, I've been guilty of this, that you go to that and you're like, oh God, I feel nervous about speaking between songs because I'm so used to being like, fuck yeah, you guys ready to fucking party? Well, you can't do that kind of stuff when you got kids. Or to sit there and be drinking, and some people feel like they perform better when they're, kind of tipsy or a little stoned or whatever. That you can't be doing all that. So you do have to have priorities, and I won't even say priorities. You just have to know that you're able to do shows without all that. It is really cool to be able to see kids react and sing along or that kind of thing to your music as you're playing it live. It really is a cool feeling. If it's something you've never felt, if all you've ever done is play in bars and stuff, I really, really, really challenge you to at least do one show where it's family friendly and some of those elements are taken out, because first of all, it's going to get you more exposure. But second of all, and more importantly, it's going to push you. It's going to challenge you to do something different, to get out of your comfort zone. And I think that's something that we all need. I know as artists in general, again, whether it's musicians or if you draw or if you paint or whatever, you already feel vulnerable. You already feel judged before you even open your mouth or get out your paint brushes or whatever. So to do anything and take away anything like that and take away any kind of safety net or blanket or whatever, I realize that's hard, but I'm challenging you to do so because I swear you'll grow from it. Ashley says, I know the perfect kid. Well, send me a message and let me know. We'll see what we can do. All of them go to Glendale and fishing for Saturday. Very cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check them out. I know I've heard the name, and again, just like what I was saying, it speaks for itself, right? Because I was saying about exposure and music sells and has always sold to kids. You think about Beatlemania, you think about Soul Train and stuff. You didn't see moms and dads, in their 40s and 50s dancing down the line on Soul Train. You saw people in their 20s and 30s. There's a reason for that. Yeah. Bash on the Grass is a 3-day family festival. Jack Mountain and Seymour. This is their 3rd year. I could tell you it's way longer than their 3rd year. Sunset Strip actually played that many years. In fact, our old keyboard player, Mike Cruz, is the one that helped build the stage and did all the electrical for all the stage. If you go there now, the first year this wasn't in existence. Again, in fact, actually, I take that back. It wasn't Sunset Strip. It was Rat Poison. It was my 80s band I was in before that. If you go there now, you'll see they have like I'll do it this way, a rectangular stage, and now they've got a catwalk that comes out. That catwalk was created because of me. Because of the shows that I was doing and that kind of thing, was because I was very all over the place. Imagine like David Lee Roth, Axl Rose, like running back and forth and all this kind of stuff. And so that was created for me to continue and have a better show and not feel so confined. Because I felt like whenever I was on a small stage or whatever, I was like, okay, I had to kind of be in this little area, and I don't give the same show as if I have a lot of room to run around. And for those of you that have seen me live, if I'm not playing an instrument and not, tacked down to a certain place, if I'm just holding a microphone and running around, like I have a wireless microphone for a reason. I use it. Yeah. So, Jack Mountain is a beautiful place. They've got great fishing and camping. It's a really fun event, and it is family friendly. The downside, is that it is in Seymour. It's in Diggins. And it's a 20-30 minute trek for a lot of people. So that's, the Outland has always been an all ages show. You have to be 18 at least. No, actually, I take that back. No, you don't. I don't know if they've got a minimum, but I know that the Outland is all ages, or at least the ballroom. I don't know if all 3 or whatever. And I think a lot of the riff shows, and I don't know if they're 18 plus or if they're all ages. I've got the hiccups. Sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of places that have the ability to, a lot of places that don't. It's easy for us to say, man, I wish that they were all ages shows and stuff. Well, here's the thing too. You have to pay more to get a license to be able to have underage people. And then of course, we hear it all the time. Like if you listen to the Unsung Dreamers podcast, people that complain about paying a cover charge. Well, anytime that you have somebody that's underage, because they're not buying alcohol or because they're not, buying drinks at the bar has to make money somehow. So they just do a $2 additional charge to the cover. And I mean, you can't even buy a beer for $2. So it's not like they're asking a lot, but there's got to be some kind of give and take with that too. So not all bars are willing to front the money and risk not making that back by having a license that allows underage people there, and of course, I'm sure there's insurance things and all. I mean, there's a plethora of reasons why not all bars are, but I do think that there should be somehow more. My band Sunset Strip, we played at Springfield Music. We did an in-store show. It was only like, I don't know, what was it, Kim? Maybe 45 minutes or an hour. I can't remember how long we played, but there was a lot of kids and stuff there. And a lot of my band members and stuff who had kids were able to bring their kids. And for some of them, it was the first time they ever got to see us. So I think that's very cool. And that's a good point, Kim. I'm glad you bring that up. Fishing for Sunday, not for fuck's sakes, all come from Pellegrino School of Music. I didn't know that. Third year for Spencer. Ashley is speaking on the all ages thing. The ballroom will let you in as long as you have a parent, unless otherwise specified. I didn't know that. The Outland is usually 18 and up, unless otherwise specified, and the front of house, I believe, is only 21 and up. But don't quote me on that. You know what? Now that you say that, I do think you're right. I do think you have to be at least 21 to get in front of house, which nowadays is interesting because in order to get to the ballroom, you have to go through front of house. So I'm not sure how that part works, but yes, and that does make sense to me. Obviously, you don't want, a 13-year-old kid in a bar full of adults and drunks and whatever, strangers, to be unattended. So obviously, yeah, if they had a guardian or whatever come with them, that would make the most sense. So yeah. Kim says, it was my son's first exposure to live music, which inspired him to learn keyboard. Oh, talking about whenever we played at, when Sunset Strip played at Springfield Music. That was so cool. And I'm so proud that that's what inspired him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, man, it doesn't take much. It does not. It just takes them having the imagination to imagine themselves in your spot, where you are. If they're at home watching YouTube videos of, I don't know, Lizzo or whoever, Billie Eilish, whatever the kids are listening to these days, that seems so intangible to a lot of people. But when they are able to see that there's people right here in the same town that they live in that do this all the time, that gives them, a little bit of inspiration or a little bit of hope to pick up an instrument and to learn things. And I think that's extremely important, because if that's lost, guess what? In 20 years, our nightlife is going to suck. We're all going to wish that there was bands playing, but there would be bands playing music that we've heard for, at that point, 60 years. And we'd all be a bunch of oldies up there playing, and that's not what anybody wants to see. So yeah. Deb says, I've done shows at front of house that were all ages. That's what I thought. I think Ashley said that too, that it's kind of a unless otherwise specified, yeah. So if there's something specifically set up that's, hey, we need to do an all ages show, of course they have the ability to do so. But again, 9 times out of 10, that comes with incurred costs. Easy for me to say. So therefore, the means don't always justify the ends. So therefore, not every show is, but at least they have the option to do some shows. So I think that's probably even what Kim is saying, even to have the option to do some shows that are more family friendly. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. So yeah, has anybody got anything else? Like I said earlier in the show, I think this is a kind of a needed thing that I didn't even realize was needed. Is just me connecting with you guys, kind of peeling back the curtain a little bit and having conversations candidly with you guys about what's on your mind. Again, things that we can do on the Audio Rose podcast to make things a little bit better or more fun or more interactive or more whatever. If you've got ideas and you've got suggestions, feel free to send them in, because I would love to hear from you guys. I find this very intriguing, to be honest. It's cool to get to talk to you guys in person and stuff, but to be able to talk to you guys on here as the show is happening, that's very helpful to me. So at this time, it only makes sense that I throw to something like this.
Are you interested in being a guest? We want you. Please message or email if you are interested in becoming a guest for the show. We'd love to have music lovers of all kinds join in on our fun. Message and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at the Audio Roast Podcast, or send us an email with questions comments, suggestions, or topics you'd like to hear discussed to the Audio Roast Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. So if you want to be a guest, or if you have, any comments, suggestions, or anything like that, and you are not able to get it on this live chat, if you're watching back, or if you just think of something throughout the week, of course, you can message me directly. You can message us here on Facebook at the Audio Roast Podcast on Facebook, or you can send me an email, and I check it daily, to the Audio Roast Podcast at gmail.com. So with that being said, I think that's going to kind of wrap us up for the day. Somewhere around here. There we go. That brings us to our final thoughts. So, that's the button I was looking for. So many buttons to hit. Brings us to our final thoughts. My final thoughts for today are, thank you, Stacey Haney, for coming in and joining in on the show. At least, if nothing else, it made me feel less vulnerable. And, I had so much anxiety today. Not having not prepared per se anything, not having any guests. Boy, it'd be nice if my computer would work. Not having any guests, not having any games or anything, I almost felt like I was letting you guys down by not having that kind of stuff. So I do very much appreciate that you guys have stuck around and provided a lot of great content and great conversation more than anything. It's not even the content that I care about so much. It's connecting with you guys and allowing you guys a way to connect with each other. I think it's great. I think that it was nice to be able to kind of talk about some of the elephants in the room with kind of the current climate and situation of what all's going on, and not to skirt around some of that kind of stuff. So I thought that was really good. Great show this week, Jay. Thank you very much, Ashley. Appreciate it. It means more than you know. I appreciate you guys tuning in every week. I appreciate you guys checking in, even if it's just for a couple minutes. I appreciate everything you guys are doing for me and with me. Again, I know it sounds corny and whatever, and you might hear it from other people, but know that I genuinely mean, I don't look at this as my show. I look at this as a show for everybody, as a platform, as a way to showcase and as a way to provide entertainment and an escape for a lot of us through all the week. That's why I do it on Sundays, is you've gone through your week at work or whatever you've got in your personal life, and I want to have something for you to look forward to at the end of your week. And also, not only that, like, everybody dreads Mondays. I used to hate Mondays because you got to get up and go to work and it's another week, and but at least the evening before, you're able to connect with people and have good feelings before you have to start your real job or your day job, that kind of thing. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you, Josh and Brian. Thank you guys as well, and Deb. Deb says, thanks, Jared. It's nice to talk about music and the way of the world. I agree. So, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for us this week here on the Audio Roast Podcast. If you have not yet, go ahead and hit the like button or the love button or whatever down there in the comments, because it does help with the numbers and stuff. And I would like to grow this channel. I would like to grow this platform of what we're doing, not just here on Facebook with the live streams, but also on my YouTube channel. If you saw, I posted yesterday, the day before, I've literally been working all week on re-uploading videos, full episodes, and then taking like clips of the different games and stuff that we play, uploading those onto YouTube. So if you've got friends that are like, oh man, I don't really get into podcasts, or you listen to that for 2 hours, I could never, just say, here, if you've got 10 minutes, watch this game. Or if you've seen, the band Innuendo, watch Gene Whedon come and play songs in reverse. That kind of, just more. I'm trying to give more options to people. So yeah, if you'll help me by liking this or sharing it and or both, and hitting the subscribe button also on my YouTube page, that really, really helps me. I put a lot of work into this, and I won't be able to get anything financially out of it until my numbers grow and I'm able to like monetize videos and that kind of stuff. And we're ways from that. So your help will really help. Honestly, it would be very much appreciated. So anyway, that's going to do it for us for this week. Until next week, we'll see you on the next go round.
Thank you for attending the performance. And a special thanks to all those who helped with the show.